for sound synchronization purposes.
Big clap'ems.
Big clappers. Thank you, Aaron. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Blunt People Podcast, which is a podcast full of comedians, well, 4 to be exact, including myself, Travis Nelson. But, boy, I'm not the only one. Let's meet the rest.
I'm Chase Myers, guys. Great to meet you.
I'm Vanessa Don.
Hey there, listeners and viewers. I'm Aaron Engel. Great to see ya.
That's all 4 of us. That's all 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is our 6th podcast. So the way this podcast works is the 4 of us has prepared segments that we will perform for each other and also for you. Isn't that fun?
That includes you.
Yeah. And starting off this round is going to be Erin Engel because she's had to put the most preparation in. You hear that gargle?
Yeah.
That's showbiz, baby.
Yeah. Well, this is the first ever live installment of Snacks, Hacks, and Personal Attacks.
Yeah.
And since we're all joining forces tonight, and we've got some delicious and beautiful edible things here, I thought it might be a good moment to do it as something that we can only do live and together. So tonight, my goal was to get us to do a blind tasting of the 5 most popular brands of energy drinks. And we're just going to see which one's the best, see if we can tell any difference, see if they all taste like the exact same fruited piss or...
Yeah, like melted gummy bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so scared I'm going to know them. What if I'm like, that's a rock star right there. I know Rockstar.
Well, I feel like
Rockstar, sugar-free.
Little pat. Yeah, that's a sweet berry claw. Yeah. Well, they... You know what? When we were all kids, there was probably just one, right? The Red Bull
Red
comes
Bull
out.
came out, yeah.
Maybe if you were a gamer, you dipped your toe into the Balls universe. You know,
Balls?
No?
familiar? You're gonna have to
I
pull
think
up
I did try balls.
gonna have to pull
It's
up a
like blue
graphic.
balls, right? That's a thing.
blue bottle,
Yep.
No.
just ribbed on the outside for some reason.
Ooh,
Yeah.
for
You have
no
to-
one's pleasure.
Just a bunch of stinky land boys having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I think then there was Red Bull, and then maybe Rockstar.
Yeah, either Rockstar or
Rockstar was hard for me in
Monster.
high school.
Yeah, one of
Monster was
those,
up there.
and then it just rippled out into the universe, and now there's more than we could possibly imagine.
Yeah, I remember Little John
Literally.
had one. I remember
Oh,
those.
Crunch Juice.
Say again?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm just kidding. Crunchos?
Crunch Juice?
Crunk juice.
Oh my god, I'm so
Okay,
excited.
Alright,
Okay,
let's
let's
do
do this.
this.
All
I've
right,
never done
so-
any type of like blind taste testing.
You've never done.
I don't
So
think so.
we're gonna
Yeah.
do this like we're goddamn sommeliers.
Well,
if
for
don't
you, this
mind.
would be a colorblind taste test.
This is true.
Okay, so I will list for you all the top-selling brands.
This one has a good bouquet.
The top-selling
This is very
brands of energy
courageous.
drinks.
It's giving Red Bull.
And this is, I'm going to spit mine out because it is the evening. You might, I don't know, if you want to, if you feel like you might need to revisit and determine which one is your favorite at the end of the tasting, maybe you want to save a little bit. But other
go
than
back.
that, I'll try to have you guys guess which one's which. We probably are going to be familiar
Let's
with
do
some
that
of the
at the
flavors
end.
at the very
Yeah,
end.
At the very
Okay.
end, we'll guess
So
what's
first
what.
we're just gonna go through all 5. We're gonna examine the bouquet, the mouthfeel, the flavor profile, the terroir, if you will.
I don't know what that means.
Terrain?
It is related, yes. Where you can taste where the wine
dirt.
comes from.
Ah, Latin.
Wine dirt.
You guys want to clink these together?
Oh,
Oh,
definitely
for
should.
sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
happy
And-
birthday, Vanessa!
Happy birthday, Vanessa.
Also, I just want to say, I fucking love you guys. Like, there's no other group of people that I would just be sitting around doing this with. Like, what a weird
No, for sure.
Special occasion. Okay,
Yeah.
so nose it, sip it.
I'm calling this as Red Bull. Maybe.
Well, don't guess now.
At the end.
Oh, my bad.
It's no longer your birthday.
You're gonna be surprised at how much these all taste like Red Bull.
It's hard.
Slightly aged in aluminum.
There you go.
Wow, you get the palate.
Unoxidized. So, okay, wait. I got a list for you guys. Which ones we are sampling tonight?
Okay.
The top 5 sellers of 2022.
Okay.
Red Bull is on there.
Uh-huh.
Rockstar These are brands. You know,
Right.
they've each got 6,000 flavors.
Yeah.
And we're just doing originals for all.
I tried to get originals where I could. Some I could not find
Understood.
or determine what in fact was the original material. It is unclear.
Some
to
of it
me.
goes deep. So, yeah.
Okay, so we have Red Bull brand, Rockstar, Monster, Bang. Sorry, snuck that up on you.
Oh, Josh
All
likes
it goes,
Bang.
yeah, my podcast co-host.
Yeah,
He
shout
loves
out
the Bang.
Josh.
Yeah, Josh Watts.
He's gonna know just by looking at it which one's the Bang. I
for
bet.
sure.
Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, Bang, and I think a relative newcomer on the scene, Rain.
Ooh, I don't know
Oh,
about Rain.
I fucked with Rain.
Yeah,
I fucked
okay.
with Rain. Yeah.
I've had that at some like concerts and stuff, promotional material wise. They'll give out the Rain. I thought it might be local because we had the Rain soccer team. Okay, so this is round one. We're
one.
tasting one of at least, hopefully the original, maybe some of all of those 5.
Gotcha.
Any opinions so far? Besides
like it.
Vanessa
I mean, it seems-
calling the
it
shot
does-
from half court.
It
Yeah.
does seem.
Honestly, I think I'm wrong. It might be Monster. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
I need a
later.
second. I need a second one to.
Right. I gotta compare it to
What would you
something
say
else.
this flavor is?
Taurine? I think it's taurine.
Taurine!
Right?
Which is, I have learned, an amino acid. I feel like in high school, the like urban legend was that it was from like bull semen or something.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah, always.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, like the
I
Dave
never found
Chappelle
it.
skit.
Mm.
Red balls. Right?
Yeah. There's no proof to it. Okay, so this, have you
Number
saved
one.
some so you can
Yes.
sample
Yes,
later?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It doesn't taste like a fruit.
No, it's not a fruit for sure.
Okay.
No, and it doesn't taste.
Oh no, it's not from God. For
No,
sure.
no.
It is.
What's funny about it
That's
is it's
not
not.
one of God's beloved flavors.
It's
from
cool
men.
and it's carbonated, but it's very much not refreshing.
Ooh, good call, yeah. And I did
Ooh.
crack these open like a half hour ago, so they've lost some of their carbonation.
Oh yeah.
Is this different
This one
than
smells
this?
crazy.
Yeah, this one has like a stronger smell for sure.
This
Yeah.
smells like if you ground up a pound of Nerds and then soaked it in Everclear.
Delicious.
I'm diving in.
It does smell like nerds.
Chug, chug, chug.
Okay, definitely tastes different.
I don't like that at all.
It's very sweet.
Goes down.
This one I think kind of tastes like a pineapple flavored candy. You know,
Ooh.
not the true
Yeah.
pineapple flavor, but the flavor of a pineapple flavoring.
Okay.
Maybe, but I always wonder if I think that because because of the color. Like if I,
Oh, like
I'm
if
not
it
gonna
was
lie.
green.
I do like
wouldn't
this
it?
one better. I do. Dare I say like appley? Is that like
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
I'm gonna take it
pineapple
back.
apple,
a
yeah.
crown app type?
I'm gonna reverse the Nerd statement and say Smarties.
Yeah.
I still like nerds for it.
Like if you took some apple juice and also
Yes.
2 rolls of Smarties and like dissolved it in there.
Ooh.
It's flutes.
Hey,
Oh,
shit,
went
amazing.
there.
Okay. It also does not smell like one of God's creatures.
No.
No.
Once
Yeah.
again, not of this earth.
Right? Still has, you know.
An echo of a shadow of a drawing of a nuance of a flavor that God created. A picture of a picture.
Okay. That might be my favorite so far, though.
This tastes.
Hmm.
A couple of these that I have
Ooh.
that I got are sugar free, and this tastes like sugar free, right?
This
does taste like
this is
sugar-free.
very sugar-free.
Those first two taste like sugar.
Yeah, this one tastes like crazy sweet, but not in a sugar way.
Yeah.
So, during pregnancy, they make you take a diabetes test, and yeah, this is what I'm rocking right now. And
By the way, Aaron,
knocked up, baby.
there we go. And if we're calling it now on camera, I think she's gonna have a boss baby. And I don't mean that as like the baby's gonna be. I mean, I think it's gonna come out and it'll talk like Alec Baldwin.
Fabulous.
It'll be like, I shot a lady. Who cares? Maybe like, my wife has an indiscernible, ridiculous accent. That makes no
Hilarious.
sense. That's what your baby will say.
Can't wait to meet him.
Boss baby.
It's gonna be
Okay, so to take a diabetes, they basically, people get diabetes during pregnancy, like because your blood changes a bunch, and they give you a test to see if your insulin is working correctly, and for that test they make you drink basically a glucose drink that is fucking foul, and that's what this tastes like to me.
Wow.
But carbonated, because the glucose drink is just like still syrupy water. So I'm gonna say, but glucose is real sugar, so this does taste like fake sugar to me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this.
No,
This
you
one
spit it? Did you spit it?
No, I went,
You
I still did it.
If you kind kind of like a grapefruit, like syrup, sort of.
It tastes like, like those flavored waters that have the artificial sweetener.
Yeah, like a crystal ice.
Yeah, like
It
a
does
crystal
taste like
ice.
Okay, what we got?
Okay, next round.
Nice.
Next round for my family here.
Yep.
You better clang me.
Clinky, clinky.
Oh, don't leave me hanging.
No, we have to with these bad boys.
They have a good resonance to them too, don't they?
These are all starting to blend into me.
I don't think that there's honestly much difference between them in the first place.
I just like to swirl it.
Oh, well, you're really opening up the bouquet
Yeah,
that
this
way.
one, like,
Yes.
aesthetically to me is killing it. Like,
Oh.
I'm just like, ooh.
This piss test.
Yeah. But if you look at my ranking, though, piss is in first. So you can't overcome. Yeah.
I've got like a pretty good idea on 2 of these, and the other 2 I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah, to fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I spit on myself. What is it trying to be? I'm like,
What's it trying to
What is it
say?
trying
to-
You know, like, what's its purpose?
yeah, I want to, because I feel like, but maybe that was the boldness of the original energy drinks. If this is in fact one of those like older ones, maybe they were like, we just taste like fucking zazz, and
Yeah.
getting you out on the streets.
Right.
That's the one thing I think that these all have in common so far is pizzazz.
Old razzle dazzle.
Some of them got more piz.
Heavy fizz, heavy zazz. Some a little pizza.
Yeah.
Some in a zazz. All right, okay, so we've got 4 out of 5.
Oh, I'm excited. All right.
Okay.
Let's be able to carry that off.
This looks like something a juggler would use in their act.
This is
Only a very good juggler,
Right?
Oh my god.
One of the objects in Beauty and the Beast that came alive.
Oh, and it was a slut, too.
Yeah. A slutty cup.
This
Look at
one
that.
smells like Sprite to me.
Yeah, it does smell pretty
Like lemon
soda.
lime.
Yeah. I can see it.
It got a out of me. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna-
More soda like.
Your body craves this, Chase.
So this is yummy, officially.
I would say yummy.
Yummy? I would
Yeah.
say yummy.
You know what?
It's pretty. Our contestants sniffed, sipped, quaffed. Forgot the other one, but they all tasted their stuff. Tasted it, ranked it, and now we have also tried to guess the blind tasting of these top 5 energy drinks. Again, for those watching at home, for those listening, we have been tasting Rockstar, Red Bull, Bang, Reign, and Monster. So let's kick it off with Travis. What do you think they were in order?
The correct answers are. So I thought the first one was pretty clearly Red Bull to me. If I do drink an energy drink, it's going to be Red Bull. Just because I don't like the taste of any of them, and I just decided that that's like the least evil.
The baseline.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Second one tasted like melting gummy bears, which made me think that was Monster, because that's what I remember Monster tasting like. The third one I didn't know. That was a guess. I guessed Bang, because I feel like I've tried Bang before, and it tasted artificial, like the sweetener. So I thought that's what that might have been. And then 4, pretty clearly to me, Rockstar. I didn't drink a lot of Rockstar, but I know what color it is, and I'm familiar with the smell.
Okay.
A lot of barfed up Rockstar in my past.
Yeah.
Not that
I
I
can-
barfed
I can
up,
feel it
but
already.
Been around.
You've been around it. You've been around
Yeah.
it.
So that leaves you with number 5 as.
It's got to be Rain.
Okay.
I thought because the Rain flavor was rainbow sherbet, and Chase said ooh yum on that one, and I felt like rainbow sherbet's an ooh yum flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your
Good
guesses
luck.
have been logged. Carrying on to you, Mr. Myers.
All right. So number 1, I had it as a Red Bull.
Cheat,
Thought that was Red
cheating.
Bull. It was Red Bull.
These answers are locked. They're locked.
These
They're
are
written
locked
down.
in.
He
We
peeked
put
my-
these in before. Number 2, I thought number 2 was Rockstar. Number 3, I thought was Bang. Number 4, Monster. And then number 5, Rain.
Okay.
I nailed it. I fucking nailed it.
Okay. Any further rationale, reasoning?
No, it's just what my heart said.
Okay,
I just
good.
felt it. Like when it comes to like
What your
taste
heartburn
testing,
said.
Yeah.
like
Wow.
energy drinks, you just gotta go with it.
Okay.
You know,
Better see a cardiologist, bro, because your heart's fucked.
All right, Ms. Nessa.
All right, so I took back that the first one I thought was Red Bull. I'm gonna say it's Rockstar.
Okay.
It has to be different, and because that's what I thought. Also,
That's what I mean.
I changed my mind.
second Monster,
Okay.
3 Bang, 4 Rockstar, or excuse me, 4 Red Bull, and 5 Rain. What a pit.
What was your 3? Bang.
Bang, yeah.
Alright, so we've all been Bang for 3 and Rain for 5.
And
Mhm.
Red Bull for 1 was
Which would you say are those the ones you're like least familiar with too?
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say that you are all right about Bang and Rain.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So you nailed that. We nailed number 3 and number 5.
Hell yeah.
But only sweet Louisiana slow burn Chase Myers' palate was refined enough to get all of them right.
God damn.
You got it, baby.
I would
So,
never guess that you would best meet this case.
I was
I'm
really,
deeply injured and hurt by this.
I was really hoping I wasn't good at energy drink testing. I
I like how you called it at the beginning. You're like, I'm worried about how good I'm going to
You nailed it from the start. So we all, you were right when in the beginning. Your first instinct, it was Red Bull up top, followed by,
guessing.
and that was the original Red Bull. The second was the Rockstar original. It says on the can, original, black label, you know. Number 3 was Bang. It was a sugar-free. I could not fucking tell you. There were 16 different.
There's a bunch of
Bangs.
bangs.
Oh,
So
yeah,
bangs do
there's a
intimidate
bunch.
me. I think that's why I stay away from them.
Yeah. So what are you even looking at there? And they all say things like super creatine or something like that. You don't know what you're getting into. But that was Star Blast, which I didn't realize till I got here is a sugar-free one.
Okay.
I don't know if they all are, but that one was. And then Monster, the green can, or the can with the green claws. That seems like the original to me.
That's,
Right?
yeah.
And then the 5th was Rainbow Sherbet. I would love to know your favorite of these.
Number 1's the Bang.
Okay.
Gonna go with that. I like the fruitiness.
All right.
Okay. Did you go 1 through 5, or you just went favorite?
Oh, I did go 1 through 5, but
Let's hear them.
All right,
Cool.
Give the people some insight if they, if
Content
they
is king, baby.
you're right. All right. So number 1 on this taste test challenge for me would be the Bang. I like that fruity shit. That like.
I like that fruity
I like that, that sugar-free fruity shit. That's what I like. So I was with it. So it only makes sense that number 2 was Rain.
Also sugar-free,
Also
fake sugar flavors.
You know, I'm with that. What is it, aspartame?
Yeah, I should have brought sugar-free Red Bull to play here to see.
Man, maybe I
I
would
don't
have.
know.
I think I jumped on that.
I
think
still wouldn't have got it. But I would have
You would have
tried.
denied your instincts and gone against them.
You're right. You're right.
So we got
And
Bang,
then-
Rain.
Then I just went for what I thought was Rockstar, but was actually Red Bull.
Okay.
And then Monster and the actual Red Bull.
Man, you putting those originals down at the bottom of the barrel.
You know,
You're
but,
learning about yourself today.
Let's
I-
keep it new, keep it fresh.
Yeah.
but it is like fresh battery is
Mhm.
kind of like what energy drink, sweet.
Fresh
Like
battery.
a ripe.
You ever leak your car battery?
Yeah.
It's nice and fresh.
Like a fresh
Like
one.
a fresh
Yeah.
All right,
Now it's corroded. And
Mr.
stuff.
Myers, you savant, you.
Oh, all right.
your
Well, let me
favorite?
tell you guys the correct one. Apparently,
The people's choice.
I had let's see. I had my number 1 as I feel like number 1 was Rockstar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It takes over Red Bull for you.
Yeah, and that was just me just going. And then number 2, I had Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Monster. I'm sorry. What the fuck am I doing?
Are you
No, number 1 was Rockstar. I was looking.
Number
I was,
1 favorite flavor. That's what you
number
said.
1,
Yeah.
it was
okay.
it was the piss one.
Piss.
The fizz. The
was-
most fizz of them all.
Yeah, that one got me. So I'm sorry. So one more time. Rockstar was my number 1. Then Rain is number 2. Monster is 3. Red Bull is 4. And then Bang is 5. Bang just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it. I like, and never really went back. The first time I tasted it, I was like, that's last. And then
Yeah.
it just kept being last.
Travis?
Well, I already let the cat out of the bag. I like the Red Bull the most.
Yep.
But if I had to rank them, I would say Red Bull. I really did like the Rain. I like the rainbow sherbet flavor. of
Right,
that.
number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
2.
Two's all
And then actually
around.
Monster was 3 for me.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, so same scorecard. And then for me, after Monster was Rockstar and Bang was last.
Okay, interesting. So we got a little bit of controversy around here, but
Tough day for Bang, huh?
Yeah.
But is Vanessa's number one?
What was that?
Vanessa's number one choice.
So like,
What a switch.
kind of a tough day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can get sponsored for them. We can't collectively as a
We
group
can't.
because we've shit on them pretty hard.
Yeah, Josh is gonna be very mad at
I
me.
know. I was we did not come through for Josh on
Yes,
this.
because
But maybe he can advise us on a better flavor to have
Right.
purchased.
Oh.
because he chugs these on every one of our podcasts.
Yeah.
He's
He's got to not be drinking Star Blast. Maybe,
Right.
maybe. Maybe you and Josh just have the similar taste.
Maybe.
I did so we have Travis's number one pick with his Red Bull. Chase's number one pick is Rockstar. Vanessa's number one pick is a Bang Star Blast. And I would say that the Red Bull, and bizarrely to me, unexpectedly, the Monster and Red Bull for me tied at number one.
Okay.
Wow, Ty.
Yeah, I was like,
Couldn't choose.
couldn't choose. But maybe it's I think if it were a sugar-free Red Bull, I probably would have gone for it.
Fair.
But
It
I
does
like
make a difference.
and it might just be this just really pleasing honey
God,
color.
it's so
Man,
yeah.
you know.
It's so beautiful of the Monster.
Cool. Is that?
Well, thanks for playing, guys.
Hey,
This is
hey,
a lot of
hey,
people's first blind
hey.
tasting.
Yes.
I say it's gonna be weird me saying this, but I say since I won.
You go next.
No, I get to pick where I want to go, which is not next.
Ooh.
That's fair.
Okay.
I want to go last, and then Vanessa, you're gonna go second.
All right.
I'm
Cool.
gonna pick. It's gonna go you, Travis, me.
It is time for this news, guys.
It's gonna be really hard not to
Very
do this and not
classy.
just every now and
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
reach
I gotta
down. Where's
hold
my
myself
water?
back.
I need to grab my water.
Well, got a couple stories for you guys today. The first one, it's kind of cool that we did this testing
Yeah.
because some tasting.
Is it about how all of our insides are melting out of us now?
Which one of these is killing me?
all of them? Every last one. All right. Let's start with the story that everyone knows. Let's talk about Miss Megan Hall, the Tennessee police officer.
Oh.
To me, she was nameless.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Oh
didn't know her
yeah, I
name.
know. That's why I had to say it for the.
Yeah.
She's just a Tennessee police officer, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" Like, yes.
Yes, Megan.
So if you
Officer Hall, we'll see you now.
right,
and you.
let me get a hall pass.
There's a
Beautiful.
sound
She's handing out hall passes, y'all. But if you don't know what happened,
Please go back.
so this police officer got fired for having sexual relations with not one, not two, but 6 of her co-workers.
It jumps
Well,
high.
right.
You think 3's coming, but it's 6.
Right, 3 is company, but she was doing the whole company. Like,
Do you think she had any kind of running gag going with it, where like she just always made sure that like "Fuck the Police" was playing as?
I hope so. I really hope
KRS-One, Sound of Police.
Yeah. Just the band of police.
Right. Every
Just
breath
anything.
you say.
Mrs. Officer. Oh, well, breaking news. 4 of the 6 cops are also fired.
So who got their job?
2 officers
Yeah, like,
got
you
to
only
keep
did it
their
once.
job because they only did oral sex.
Whoa!
That's how they broke it down?
Yeah,
So you can-
but they are suspended.
Okay.
And I think the ones who got fired is because they were, doing the do on duty. Which,
On
like...
duty. On tape, too. Right?
Oh, yeah, I do believe they had a tape.
There's body
It
cam
wasn't-
footage.
The one time they keep it on. Absurd.
You can find
And they
that,
use it for OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Making money.
Now, Vanessa, this is something I randomly scrolled past on Twitter today, but I saw that the new update on this story is that her husband is sticking with her.
Oh, yes, that was in the article I read. So her husband is sticking with her.
Good man.
Apparently, she's claiming it was an open marriage. So
Okay.
he's
Very
like,
open.
So he's
What's
like,
the guy gonna say? He's gonna go, yeah, it was.
He's like, no, it wasn't.
I was having sex with 7 ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Tons of mouth stuff. Tons of mouth stuff.
All the 911 dispatch.
Right?
You know,
Just like, where's he work?
Hospice.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I've seen like pictures of him floating around like that. I've seen pictures
like
of the
the
two like
two
matching
and
pajamas at Christmas.
all
and
of
stuff.
that, all of that. And she ain't even had the
Christmas.
job that long to be fucking everybody. Like,
Yeah.
Megan.
Megan. But I mean, y'all think they should have got fired though?
There's-
If I fucked on the job, I'd probably get fired. So like, I think.
Yeah.
Touche. If it was, I feel like if it wasn't on the clock, it would have been okay.
No, whatever you do in your own time.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But she was wilding though. You can't have company parties and like just be topless in a hot tub.
No.
Unless you want to.
If 911's like dispatching you and you're like, no, hold on, we gotta finish. Like, yeah, that's a
5
problem.
more minutes, 911.
All right.
Shots fired. Yes, they have been.
Unit 17, come in. No. Unit 33, come in. What's that? Unit 33's in. Unit 17. Oh, shit. Call the fire department.
Wow, yeah, on the job. I mean, that's bad use of company time, I suppose. I love the technicality of the oral.
The mouse stuff.
The mouse.
Yeah.
So that means
I
you
guess
can
I
get
believe
blown
it was
on the job.
off.
Like that
I
can-
believe that might happen off hours though.
They tagged in. They were like, "Where are you all at?"
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the article made it
Oh,
sound
we just
like
went by.
she was lying.
Who was there?
You just see a cop rushing and
Just
going
run a
to
red
bang
light.
out.
You ever see when there's like 6 cop cars all like next to each other? You're like, what are they
What could
doing?
be happening?
Yeah.
Now we know.
Now we know.
Megan.
Party at Officer Open Marriage's house.
Wow.
Just given the fact of like who gets a reality TV show, I kind of think like she should get a reality TV show. They
Like
should just-
life trying to come back.
Yeah, like
Nah, put all them cops in a house. Put them all in a house. And she votes off who fucks the worst.
I love it. I love it.
Can we call it hall pass? Because it's like a flavor of love with her type
Absolutely.
situation.
It's the 6 cops. You add in like 4 like fans. Like that's like just like hey.
Oh,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
she
in,
doesn't know which one's real
you know,
cops.
10, yeah,
Like
yeah,
contest
yeah,
winners
yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
They're
People who
just-
just that are now fans of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, well, on to my next story.
Yeah, so that was the first one. What are you following it with?
Well, I decided since we're talking about cops and everything, we're gonna stay on the criminal justice law topic, and we're gonna talk about the state of Washington and their newest bill proposed. So, what they want to do, y'all, is change the DOI limit from a .08 to a .05, which would make us the second state in the nation to have this stricter law. The only other person who has it is Utah. And who the fuck want to be like Utah?
You don't want to be doing the same things Utah's doing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just on principle.
Yeah.
But so,
Right?
like, what is it? Like half a beer? Like, what gets you to?
Yeah, like a drink,
Right.
basically. Maybe 2 if you're real big. But yeah, the people against that are the wineries. Like the legislators, they did not vote against it at all. No one
Really?
did. But the winery people are up in arms. They're like, no, because like a wine tasting is a .05.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
If- you
That's like
know-
such
Oh,
a
we're
good
gonna blow a
industry.
.05 from.
From these energy. I gotta spend the night now.
Dang.
Yeah, because they're like, well, we can't have wine tastings and have people buy wine
Yeah.
and take it. Like, they can't leave because usually you do the wine tasting, you get a glass of your favorite wine, and then you leave with a bottle.
Not that I'm like pro like
Drinking and
like
driving.
yeah, but like
yeah.
I do think that's like too.
I think it's a little
like,
too
yeah,
low. I think
yeah.
it's a little too low because like I
Yeah.
feel like a .08, like if you've never blown into that thing, you're like, oh, that's probably a lot, but then like
You're like,
it ain't. Turns out
It really ain't.
You heard it here first.
It really ain't a lot.
it's not that drunk, okay?
I'm like, guys, it's not nothing.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never had the test like a professional professional breathalyzer, so I don't know what it feels
Oh, you
like.
got to.
I got pulled over one time when I've been drinking a little bit, and I blew the officer immediately. And I was like, this is
Problem
part of the-
solved?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm fucking up.
Buy yourself at least an extra few minutes
There
to
you
sober
go.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Got a bunch of pennies in there.
Goodness. So how far has this legislation gone?
So they have till April to officially decide if they're going to vote it in or not. But I'm just like, stop acting like this is for safety and not money.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are dying?
Also, like, all the people that voted it down, like, all the, like, legislators and stuff, like, they're the ones that's going to get DUIs. Like, that's...
Facts.
Yeah, like, don't act like I don't drink. Like,
Right. I was reading the comments on the article. Some people were like, make it lower. You should make it higher.
Right.
I was like, don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be on that side of the argument. I just leave it alone. Just, we've all, we've all accepted what it is.
Yeah.
I would love to see some like controlled tests, like like we rent out like a course or something, get people to like 0.08,
and then a 0.05, and like how it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Response time and everything.
That could be one of your segments.
I was about to say, is that the next snack hack?
Personal
attack.
It's going to be a personal attack.
Personal attack and an act.
Vanessa, what were you at when you got arrested? Let's get there.
We could just... I see it now. We rent out a go-kart spot, and Aaron's at the starting line with a bunch of shots and a breathalyzer.
And a
you gotta
stopwatch.
you gotta do like a pit stop.
Obstacle course.
I mean, if not for the podcast, just for fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we don't have to record it. We can just...
We're gonna record it.
Too good not to.
I love this plan. I think we can.
I think
this requires a bit
and
more
I feel
research.
like it will probably help the public as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Vanessa's already at 08.
Look at her take that turn like a pro.
How'd she get a DUI?
You can't even tell.
She's at a what right now?
She's driving better.
She's getting a new Pete.
Oh wait, she's texting.
I'm out there drifting. We can lean back.
Amazing.
Well, what's the news for today, guys?
That's the news. I love it when she does it. All right, so it's my turn.
Next up.
All right,
Trangus time.
Trangus time, which means we're gonna talk about medical cannibalism.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Doctors that eat people?
Hold on while I have a little slice of Joe.
Yeah. So, I already kind of did this one for you guys on a podcast that got messed up.
A lost episode.
Right. But I wanted to do it again because I already did all the writing and research for it. And I'll be goddamn. I'll be goddamn.
That's fair.
My story is going to start with something called bitumen, which is it's like what they call it like natural asphalt, right? And so like the Dead Sea, there's chunks of this black asphalty stuff floating around in there. And specifically in like Arab and a lot of Eastern medicine, they had this bitumen that they would collect from the Dead Sea, and they called it mamia. And not like Mamma Mia.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't.
Mumia. M-U-M-I-A.
I can't not hear Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Well, the word is derived from a Persian expression.
From Italy.
Yeah, it's actually Mario.
Broadway play.
It's a me, a Mamma Mia. It's a Mamma Mia. Very offensive what we've done.
I would like to apologize.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ahead of this. I'm not like them. So no, there's a Persian expression for wax that's just mum.
Wax.
Yeah, wax. And they applied the mamia to natural asphalts from southern Iran, where like the Dead Sea is, like, imagine. I think so.
I believe so.
So it has a long tradition in Arab medicine specifically, because they mention it in something called the Papyrus Ebers, the oldest and most comprehensive Egyptian medical treatise from the 1500s. It was effective in treating intestinal parasites, alopecia, and gynecological disorders.
So, but when you say asphalt, like, Is that like a dirt, like a
It's
rock
I
dirty
think
something?
no, it's like I think it's like sticky and kind of like oily almost, and it's
Okay.
like I think it must just be like very carbon,
Okay.
like a lot of carbon. So it would be like, and this is just me taking a random stab. Clearly, I haven't done enough research for this, but I would imagine that it works kind of similarly to like if you were to ingest like activated charcoal.
That's what it sounded like to me,
Yeah,
too.
that's kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, for intestinal parasites, alopecia, and gynecological disorders,
Sweet.
which treating
Put it on your
gynecological
puss, put it on your
disorders
noggin.
in the 1500s had to have been a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it's
I
just-
can only imagine.
They're like, well, have you heard of asphalt?
Tell me all the things you've tried shoving up there.
Yeah, because I got one.
Try this.
The medical use is also documented by Avicenna, the most famous and influential scientist of the Islamic Golden Age, in his book, The Canon of Medicine, used by European universities until 1650.
Wow.
So these European universities were getting this medical information that was shared, and they were seeing all of this, but some of it they were taking out of context, right? Because they weren't exactly sure what all this stuff was. Every once in a while, there'd be something that just kind of slipped through the cracks, and they didn't quite get it. Specifically, this Mamiya, they just started to assume that it had something to do with mummies specifically, like mummified people.
Mia.
That's right. Mummies. Mummies.
Mama, mommy.
Yeah, so
Just a real bad case of misreading.
yeah. What's crazy is how it just never got connected. And like they also just like thought there was some kind of spiritual magical thing about like mummies, like because you know
Like they had eternal life or something.
yeah, so they were like, oh, if you eat this person or a bit of this person with that must be why they use it because there's something magic.
I can see that logic.
Yeah, yeah. And so it
Dr.
just
Logic magic.
Science.
Science of its time. Of the day.
yeah. By the 12th century, Muslim writers started documenting the use of mummies in medicine. From that time, mummiya was also used for ground Egyptian mummies, presumably due to its intense black color. Like, so when you ground up the mummies, they'd be like basically just decomposed, so it would be kind of like black, kind of like the natural asphalt. And so people were like, yeah,
This is the same.
it fits the description, right?
Looks right. Looks
So then it became a popular drug in Europe because it fell in with all these other drugs, and no one thought twice about it, except for the fact that it was ground up long dead people. And so that's one of the reasons why there aren't as many mummies. Like, you know, the Egyptians mummified like so many people, and there's not very many of them left. And a big part of it is because there was a huge trade for that through Europe, and Europeans ate most of the mummies.
Oopsie.
Oh.
Yes.
We ate all the mummies. I'm afraid we ate all of them.
Mightn't I some mummy?
I don't know when they made that trade if that's what they knew was going to happen to them. Like, yeah, I guess you can have these mummies. And they're like, what are you doing with them?
Okay, so that's where it gets crazy. Because first of all, it was like there were certain groups that were really getting into like the mummy trade. Specifically, people who were like
People who were giving mummy money.
they like that mummy money.
Mummy money.
Yeah. But
Mamma mia, mummy money.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mama made me some mummy money.
Wait a minute. The people selling the bodies, a lot of times after like the initial, they weren't getting actual mummies. Like it was pretty hard to get your hands on an actual mummy. So
Because you need like a Tomb Raider.
yeah, basically, Laura Croft. Yes, she's actually coming up next. Laura Croft, the main mummy exporter. But no, it's insane because what they would start doing is just selling dead bodies that weren't mummies and had just been like found in the desert or worse, left in the desert. And what's really crazy is a lot of times this was like the bodies of slaves that the Europeans had brought over from the New World And the reason why they were able to bring them over under the law was they had to call, like, if they were cannibals, they were not seen as people. So all these early explorers were getting away with just calling all these people cannibals so they could ship them back because they weren't finding any gold.
Hey, cut this guy eating a finger. You mind if I bring him in?
Yeah.
Seems like a cannibal to me.
Yeah, I see he's missing a finger. That's unrelated. But that's the thing, is that's who they would bring over, and then they would die, and then their bodies would be used for this medical cannibalism. So the very fact that the Europeans called them cannibals in the first place wound up being so that they, the irony is that the Europeans wound up being the ones eating them. Because their bodies were being taken and prepared and left in the desert, stuffed with asphalt or whatever to seem like they were mummies. And this practice was very widespread all through the Middle Ages in Europe. There's a bunch of different recipes for mummia because eventually it stopped becoming reasonable for them to get real mummies, so they would prepare animals by drying them out and desiccating them and kind of mummifying animals and then using that. And
some farmhand in the Middle Ages Europe was writing a 3-paragraph essay about how they personally were affected by this and putting it on their little medieval cooking blog. Some of my fondest memories are chasing my slave around the property, and then he died, and now I'm eating him.
Right.
Man,
oh man.
And the worst part was a lot of the people who were sourcing these dead bodies, that's what was crazy, is when the Black Death was happening, they didn't give a shit. They were selling those bodies.
Oh, profit always, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
We've always been the same.
Yeah. So,
money over mummies.
Yeah. And then it kind of took on a life of its own after a while because
Ooh, spooky.
not that it was haunted. I just mean that at first it's this misunderstanding, but then it becomes common thought, and no one questions
It
it.
sounds like that's happened layers and layers and layers of times there.
Yes. So then mummy, or wild men flesh, they called it different things.
Wild men flesh.
I know, right? That's a weird one.
Break me off a piece
Right,
of that.
that's not even appealing.
No, that's...
It's kind of on the nose there.
Yeah. You kind of let it lets the game away. It's like, wait, you guys knew this?
I couldn't call it jerky or something.
It's like if you called on the phone and be like, hey man, you gotta use code whenever you call.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Go to a payphone. Call it back.
Yeah.
There's history of it being sold in upper Bavarian pharmacies as late as the 19th century as a remedy for tuberculosis, which definitely wasn't true, but
Yeah.
they're using it.
You gotta try stuff.
In 1924, the pharmaceutical company E. Merck, which is still around, they still sold Mamiya, and they called it Mamiya vera aegyptica, and they sold it for 24 gold marks per kilogram. And in fact, if you look up on their website, one of their employees, I can't remember when it was, but they were looking through some old stuff, and they found pieces of a mummy, just in an old storage cabinet.
Yikes.
Because that's what they were using to make the Mamiya.
Damn.
So that's how crazy it is. And even as late as 1973, there
Too
were
late.
too
recent.
super late.
Too fresh.
We're in the 12th century a minute ago.
Yeah. No, that's what's so crazy. Is it literally 1,000 years of eating people, 1,000 years, and we treat cannibalism like it's this, it never had whatever, and you always think of it as being uncontacted tribes or something like that, but it's no, Europeans are the most prolific cannibals ever. And anyways, yeah, so up through the 70s, if you went to witch shops or weird occult places, you could still buy it. And I did find one weirdo on the internet who I think is a part of a cult, and I am still planning on investigating him and getting down to the bottom of it. But he sells it, but it's there's no actual people in this. It's this weird special blend of oils or whatever the hell.
No.
You're like, well, we're done here. If this is, I want the real thing.
Yeah, point me in the direction of the people seller.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any
So
more notes.
does
I
that
want to make here.
natural material from did you say the Black Sea still does that still exist, or they over harvest that?
Yeah, I think it's much harder to find now than it was. but I also don't think it really had much like medical use. I mean, way back when, it's like what was people's ideas of health? You know what I mean? Like to a certain degree, if you just pick up dirt and eat it, that might be healthier than the way you've been living your life. You know what I mean? And
I mean, look at all these fucking energy drinks.
Who are we? To make one?
Right.
who are we? We're cannibalizing the energy. Yeah, up to the 20th century, the trade in Europe reached its peak in the 16th to the 18th centuries. So 1700s was like still the peak of this.
Rolling at it.
Yeah. It was also popular in Japan and China, where it received panacea status as a drug, you know.
What's that mean?
Like a pharmacy status?
Like a cure-all.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mamiya was also used in the Holy Land for like travelers in the late 19th century as an expensive medicine against nervous conditions, sudden anxiety, and the evil eye, which was a very real thing back then. They thought someone could look at you and you'd get the evil eye, and then you'd get sick and die.
Gotta get that man some mummy.
Yeah, get some mummy in him. Eat a mummy. Put long dead person in his mouth to save him.
Yeah.
Eat a little bit of this.
Right.
Just creeping me out, making me eat some mummy. Wow.
But
Yeah.
also, they said like they use it for drugs too. Like I wonder if they could eat it like it was like mushrooms or something, or did they like snort it or smoke it?
Oh, they probably snorted that shit back in then.
Yeah.
Grinding it down.
Probably blew it up each other's assholes
Right.
too.
Yeah. I'm assuming.
Probably.
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 Probably pretty wet.
Bro.
I'm assuming they ingested it, but like, you know, who knows?
Who
There's
knows,
no
yeah.
way it's not going to get you high or anything. It's just probably going to make you super
It's
sick.
probably not gonna do much for you. It doesn't sound like.
No.
No.
It's a very stupid thing to do, and we shouldn't have done it, but we did it for 1,000 years.
That's crazy.
Here's a question
But
for my fellow blunt people.
Mhm.
Would you like to be rolled up and smoked when you're dead?
Yup.
Mm.
Like how high?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I can pop back up? Like every time someone smokes me.
I grant wishes.
Like, I know what's going on. You got a question, I got all the answers. I'm dead.
Yeah. That's immediately jump to resurrection. Because it's their 33rd birthday.
Yes.
Oh, that's how I come back.
Yeah.
Now keep coming back.
And on the
Every
third
time.
day, they smoked a blunt.
Sweet dreams,
We
everybody.
did it.
Yeah, that was it.
Great job, Travis. Yeah.
Okay, Chase
Gross.
chooses.
Gross, but somehow less disturbing than some of your other segments.
Like what?
Oh, the bacteria stuff.
The parasites?
Yeah.
You didn't like the parasites? I could tell everyone's having a hard time. It's much more fun to say this shit to you like live though.
Yeah.
When I'm on the computer, I'm like, I wish I could be
Everyone's
there
just
so they couldn't look
silently
away.
Well, shoot, you gonna round us out there, Chase?
I got us, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk about the 1992 Summer Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're all done.
Bye now.
Except for, of course, our most talented and essential cast member.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the segment. He does colleges and clubs all over the country. He is from Louisiana, but we don't hold it against him. The slow burn himself, Chase Myers.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.
It feels good because
Should we do another one?
it feels good because I know you guys mean it. That's why I can tell how excited you were. All right, I want to talk about the 92 Summer Olympics.
Let's get into it.
This is about the Olympics and it's about advertising for the Olympics. Okay.
Is there a
cool.
touch of scandal?
Oh, of course.
I love it when you bring a
Of
touch of
course.
scandal.
Is the scandal by any chance financial?
A little bit. So it's actually not so much scandal or fraud. This is more so just like bad decision making.
I get you.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and kind
Goes a
of,
long way.
yeah, kind of. What's that? Thing? Like counting your ducks before they
It's chickens.
Chickens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just before they turn into
Yeah.
chickens.
Yeah. Right. It's that.
Yeah.
It's the chicken cat thing.
Right. Cat thing? Chicken cat?
yeah.
What do you think that idiom is?
Oh, I didn't know. I just somebody said cat, and so
Catting your chickens
yeah.
before their chawns.
Or putting the cart before the horse.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Never want to do that.
Yeah.
They're
Don't do
pullers.
that.
They're not
They're
pushers.
pullers, not push, right?
Yeah.
It's not a shopping cart.
Ridiculous.
So that's what this is. So all right, it's the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl 26.
Super Bowl.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Is
It's
Oh, okay.
Super
And
Bowl
then we get
26.
to the
Wait, just tell-
Olympics. Okay.
Just
We
accept
got
that it's
the
the
story.
Super Bowl,
I
Vanessa.
was like, wait,
Sorry.
wait, thought we were talking about these.
Put yourself
Okay.
there.
All right,
All
sorry.
right,
Continue.
Super Bowl.
Continue. At the
Washington,
Super Bowl.
they're beating shit out of Buffalo.
Good.
This is in the middle of the Buffalo going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing.
Oh,
which
was this the OJ era?
No, this is post OJ. This is
Okay.
early 90s, 90, 92. A 15-second commercial comes on in the third quarter. It shows a picture of 2 toddlers.
Okay.
Two toddlers named Dan and Dave.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of facts.
Double D's.
A bunch of facts about how strong they are and
The
how.
toddlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
100 meters in 10.3 seconds. Dave can high jump 6 feet 10 3/4 inches. This summer they'll battle it out in Barcelona for the title of world's greatest athlete.
It's
Like what percentile they are?
it's more so like this toddler ran this speed at this race or whatever, and this guy, whatever.
Like stats on the toddlers.
Yeah, and
Okay.
everybody's like, man, what the fuck? This is so weird, right? And then commercials keep going. It's only a 15-second
Yeah.
commercial to short. And
Usually
then,
Super Bowl commercials are more like 30 seconds or a minute.
yeah,
or
30
something.
seconds a minute, yeah.
So that's like a real quick toddler stats. Like in your
yeah,
face.
yeah.
Dan can throw a 16-pound shot put 53 feet 3 inches. Dave can hurl a javelin 236 feet. This summer they'll battle it out in Barcelona for the title of world's greatest athlete.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is going on
Quick
right now?
highlight.
They just wiped
Yeah.
the tears from their eyes from some like Toyota commercial, and then they were faced with that.
Yeah, they're like, are they going in the game? What is this?
Later on in the commercial break, they're back. Another picture of Dan and Dave. They're a little bit older now. They're kids. More stats. They're pole vaulting. They're
Discus 172 feet. Dave can long jump 24 feet 10.5 inches. This summer they'll battle it out in Barcelona for the title of world's greatest athlete.
they're doing.
At some point, do they fight to the death
There
on
it is.
commercial?
We're getting
no.
we're getting there.
Getting-
Stop getting ahead of me. They end up showing 4 different of these commercials. Basically, each time they show them, it's a 15-second clip. They're getting older each time, and then eventually you realize, oh, these are 2 people that are in the decathlon. These are 2
Oh.
decathletes.
Dan won the decathlon at the World Track and Field Championships. Dave won the decathlon at the Goodwill Games. This summer they'll battle it out in Barcelona for the title of world's greatest athlete.
Dave and Dan?
Yeah, and this is Reebok's big thing of Dan and Dave, and these 2 are they're gonna go and they're gonna win the decathlon. One of them, they're gonna battle it out in Barcelona. Guys, wait for Barcelona. It's gonna be great watching these 2 do a real sport.
It's 2 Americans.
These 2 Americans gonna go win. No one's won a medal in this event since Bruce Jenner.
No
Oh.
Yeah.
Americans. No American has, yeah. And so, and also they if you win the decathlon, they your title is like world's greatest athlete.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Man,
I don't even
that's
know
what I
that's-
should have been training for this whole
Yeah.
time.
That's how you got that
Big
Olympics
missed opportunity, not becoming the world's top decathlon runner.
The greatest athlete.
That's a little much for me.
Kate, sorry. Will you even let us know what the events in the decathlon
Yep.
are?
So it takes place over 2 days. It's 10 total events.
Deca.
Yeah. First is the 100-meter dash,
Okay.
long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter run. You accumulate points, and all the points add up. Basically, whoever gets most points wins. Day 2 is a 110-meter hurdle. There's discus, pole vault, javelin, 1,500-meter run.
Okay.
So that's how we close it out. Reebok is trying to compete with Nike at the time. Nike's got,
All the cool sports.
85. Jordan is, Jordan's going with that. This is 7 years of Jordan. He's now won championships and stuff. Also, Bo Jackson is out there. Bo knows. Bo is, he's
Is a Nike
playing.
athlete too?
He's a Nike athlete. He's playing baseball and football. So, so it's basically just like this is the big competition. These 2 Americans are going to go. They're going to go to Barcelona. We're going to see who's the best. But it's going to be between these 2. They're the 2 best in their
Says
sports.
Reebok or says the
Says
world?
Reebok, says the world. They're ranked high too. These
Okay.
are these, if you know decathlon or whatever.
If you follow.
Been throwing spikes since they were toddlers.
Yeah, and that's what the commercials
Yeah.
were. They were saying that these,
Just popped out of the mall through some red tape.
chest out.
You're usually not supposed to come out chest first, but it works.
Yeah. There's a couple of nurses hold up some numbers.
The marketing works well. They end up just running a bunch of commercials after the Super Bowl. It's not all baby stuff now. Now it's actually them, wrestling over Reebok pumps and stuff.
Dave doesn't know about this, but Reebok gave me this top secret running shoe. It's called the Pump Graphite. This arch design makes them very light, supportive, and I have the only pair in existence. They won't be available to the public until spring, but I get special treatment because Reebok really wants me to win in Barcelona.
Stuff and like I'm gonna use whatever, and then a lot of fun back and forth, just competitive fun, who's gonna place gold or whatever.
Was there any sort of like I'm team this day Dan, I'm team Dan?
They gave out shirts. They're like blue and red shirts.
I know marketing. You gotta split two sides over nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So before you can go to the Olympics, you have to qualify for the Olympics.
And that hasn't happened yet?
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, they haven't qualified?
Well, that's weird.
Right?
I thought they was already qualified.
Yeah, because otherwise, why would Reebok be putting all these national? They were paying for Super Bowl commercials.
Well, we about to find out.
Uh-huh. That's how for sure these guys are gonna go. We don't even have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the trials happen in July. Super Bowl's in January, by the way, and trials happen in July. And they kept enough excitement about it. Like these commercials were running nonstop. Apparently, they're also doing local commercials. I read that they did a commercial with Sinbad.
Whoa!
I couldn't find the Sinbad commercial, but it was.
It has to be out there.
It's got to be.
I wonder if we could do a digital information request.
For
I
want the Patriot Act.
Yeah. You have to give it to me. I need to see Sinbad with these guys.
So they're in July. They're actually in New Orleans. That doesn't really mean anything other than just I wanted to throw that out there. Really
this is
hot.
where it all goes south.
After day one, there's 2 days of trials. After day one, things are going well. Dan is in first place. Dave is in third place. Top three make the team, go to the Olympics. Day two, Dan being in first place. Continues to have a great day, and then he's got a pole vault, right? And the rules of pole vault is you get 3 shots. You get 3 shots to make it over, and each time, depending on how high you have it, it's how many points you have, and basically you start at a certain height, and then you have to keep going up from there, but you decide your start height. Mm-hmm. Dan, he starts a little bit higher than most, but he's like, I'm fucking Dan.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Reebok Dan, baby.
Yeah, what am I not? There's a whole ad campaign. So he goes, and he doesn't make it on the first one.
He didn't make it.
So Dan failed on the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Team Dan is arbitrarily just should have chose Dave.
Oh no!
Shows dude. Tell take their blue shirt off.
Yeah. Dan fails on the second one.
Damn no.
Oh.
A hush comes over the crowd. For real though, people are freaking out because these ads have been running for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And this would be
if he so he's not going to get a score if he doesn't make it over on this next one, and it's 10.
And
no fuck up the average.
He wouldn't be safe. Okay.
Yeah, and all the events are cumulative. So if you don't place, if you don't even get points in an event, you're basically done, right? And also for real, this is where the shirts were they gave out shirts, people wearing red and blue shirts of each team and stuff. Yeah. Everybody's seen these commercials for forever. Fucking Sinbad's involved, and he misses the third attempt.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently he started,
got the yips,
got nervous, stopped, which is never good. Went back and then didn't make it.
To be a heckler.
Right.
2 down.
What you gonna do, man?
Uh-oh.
That's why I've been Team Dave this whole time.
Let's go, Dave.
Dave was always the better brother. He's his mom.
I don't think they're related. Are they related?
No, they're not. But oddly enough,
whole thing was
they're just two. They're just the 2 best American decathletes or whatever.
I guess it would make it that much crazier.
Yeah, and this is 15 years after Bruce Jenner or whatever, and so there's still that wanting to bring back when the decathlon mattered or whatever. You know, I mean, he got
when the U.S. was good at it.
Right. Yeah. Basically, exactly that. And so Yeah, so there's no more Dan and Dave. Like, there's no longer
And
two
Dave
of
just
them.
didn't cut it no matter what?
Dave placed first place in the trials. Dave did his part,
Okay.
so he moved on. But
Okay.
because there's no more Dan and Dave, like, the marketing is now, like, way, like, fucked up. Like, they're pushing that both of them were going to go.
Yeah.
It's just Dave like, fuck you, Dan. Like, this is really playing poorly.
Meanwhile, Steve's like, I could give me in some pumps.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I made it.
Yeah, whenever guy's like, I moved on.
You could pick me.
Now you got me to go against Dave. Like, the chemistry's not here.
They were going to be on the Tonight Show with Carson. That got canceled. They were going to... I read something that said host SNL. I just can't believe that would be true, but maybe.
It could have been that big.
But at least some type of SNL appearance or whatever got canceled. All the commercials they already had commercials filmed for once they were in it. They had they shot all of them in one day. Like, they shot like a year's worth of commercials like over like a weekend or whatever, and was just throwing it. So now all of them are scrapped. Within 48 hours though, Reebok, they fucking shoot new commercials, and now the new gimmick is that Dan is just happy for Dave. Dan is just cheering on Dave. There's just, he's like coaching him or whatever in one commercial. There's another one that's kind of sad where it's like Dave is like trying to cheer up Dan, like, Dan, it's okay, like you'll get him next time, I'll, whatever. And then in the final commercial, you find out that Dan is actually going to go to Barcelona as well as an announcer.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna announce. He's gonna announce the trial. I listened to a little bit of it.
He's just gonna be like, all right, and there's the pole vault, harder than it looks.
Looks a lot harder than it looks.
Harder than it looks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Pole vault is hard. Have you
I
ever
would
tried
not
it?
fucking try. That scares the shit.
Yeah.
No, I
tried
had
it
a
one
friend
time.
in high school who was like state level like competitor at pole vault, and him and his brother just like were crazy good at it. It was so crazy to watch them because like the amount of like body control you have.
Yeah, like the stick and like
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just like having to announce, like, Dan is good. He's not like didn't qualify because he's not like one of the best. Like, he should be.
Yeah.
So like he's now calling the Olympics of a bunch of people that he's actually better than. And I listened to a little clip of it. You can kind of tell like he's a little bit. I listened to a podcast where he was like talking about it, and you can tell he's a little salty. He even like gave Dave some shit on like one of the like the hurdles or something like that. Like said,
So are the people that do decathlon, like, would they also be competing in just the hurdles or something like that?
No, this is all you're doing, all 10.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
like outside, if you were like, if I wanted to do track or something like that.
I mean,
I don't think that they do, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there'd be like one person that's trying to.
I feel like you'd have to train and everything, so you'd probably go to different track meets and do different events just to get. So like one
maybe
meet,
you aren't
probably
like
would
the individual best hurdler, but you're the best
Exactly.
hurdler that can do 10 things.
Exactly,
sort of like
but you're the best pole
right.
vaulter that can hurdle.
Well, shoot. So he makes it to the Olympics, just not as an athlete, huh?
So he's there as an announcer. Dave actually hurts his foot during during the Olympics.
Did he drop a ball on it?
But he, I don't actually know how that could be. Maybe I don't know because he was embarrassed. He had to hide that story. No, so Dave has a like a leg injury, foot situation, but got bronze.
Hey, baby.
Gold medal.
First American since Jenner to medal.
Hell
So,
yeah.
Reebok runs an ad congratulating Dan. Thanks Dan and Dave for a great year. And we're done here. We're done with them.
It was a big miscalculation of marketing, huh?
Too cocky, huh?
Nike ran like opposite ads, like kind of making fun of it.
You
like,
got it.
like this does actually like. What I knew the story, and then I looked back into it, and I didn't realize that there's actually a redemption arc coming, guys. So it wasn't
Thank
just
you, Chase.
it wasn't just all bad. Yeah, so it turns out, because Dan just didn't make it over in the pole vault or whatever. He's not. There's nothing wrong with him. He's still an athlete. Like he's still in the peak.
Boo, Dan.
He should have started lower though.
Yeah, that was kind of his call. Yeah, was he just started too high,
like,
and you can't go down once you miss. So that was he was stuck at continuing to do it. And I imagine each time you're more and more nervous.
Start the lowest starting just to make sure you get something.
Dan starts competing in the like world events. He's doing all the like world events. He's winning. He's setting world records. He's going to a sports psychologist to try to get over the pole vaulting thing. Apparently, the guy made him watch the video over and over and over again until it like he could just see it with and not like affect him or anything like that. And which is a good thing actually, because whenever he goes to the trials for 1996. As a Nike athlete, by the way. Goes as a Nike athlete. No advertisement. Nobody. They're like, we're out of decathlon. This is not any type. So, but he is just an athlete, but they're not promoting it or anything like that. And they actually, as he went for the first event on the big screen, they played him not making it over the pole vault, which is way too mean. I cannot believe. Like,
whoa.
Who's they? Who did that? Who would do that?
Whoever.
Reebok's like, listen, we signed a contract. We're not gonna get that money back, but
we have this footage.
Yeah.
Damn.
So Dave. Dan. Excuse me. He's killing it on day one. Day two comes pole vault day, right? He's in the exact same spot.
And that's when they played the video of him not making it?
They played it at the very first event, the first day.
Oh,
like as he got there, like they're all stretching and stuff, and on the fucking board was
maybe
like
there's maybe it was a whole reel of last qualifiers or something.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like get like. That, I didn't like read anything where they found who did it or whatever.
They just played it on loser. It's his therapist.
This is what you're training for. This is what all those work hours were about. Dave is still dealing with the injuries from the '92 Olympics. So he hurt his foot. And they've basically, since that 92 Olympics, even though Dave got bronze and Dan is known as not qualifying, since then Dan has been winning everything and Dave has been struggling to like stay healthy. But the thing is, nobody gives a fuck if it's not the Olympics. Like nobody knows about world events and
track
stuff
events,
like that. So he's got to do it here. He gets to day two. He gets to the pole vault.
This is still qualifiers.
This is the qualifiers, and he knows he learned his lesson. He starts the pole. One ring lower, makes it on the first try.
Great job.
Wins the trial, first place in the trial. Makes it. He's going to the 96 games. Dave comes in 6th with his foot. Top 3 qualify, so Dave does not qualify. He retires after this event. This is it for our buddy Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah. How you guys think Dan did at the 96 Olympics?
Probably not good
Bronze.
enough. I hope he medaled.
I guess if that's what you guys say, I'm going with gold.
He's a goddamn gold medalist.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, he goes to the Olympics and wins the gold medal after all that shit.
Wow.
Doesn't get. I didn't even remember that part of it, and I knew the story. I was like, oh yeah, let me go back into it, and I didn't even realize. So no real recognition even for saving it, but he did it, and he ended up having maybe a better career than Dave had.
You found that out like recently when you went back to look at this?
Yeah, like
when ready for this?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how did you feel when you found out that he actually won that gold medal?
I was shocked, dude. I was like, holy
his laptop.
Yeah. All I knew, like,
I can't imagine. I would have freaked out if I was in a room and it was just like, oh, he won that gold medal.
He fucking came back and won. Yeah, like not. Crazy. Yeah, Dave got bronze or whatever. He goes.
Myers.
Hey. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys.
What a way to What a way.
Appreciate you guys checking out the podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Yeah, do that. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and follow us around. Find me in real life. I'll throw an egg at you, I swear to God.
He'll do it.
I'll do it.
You better ask about him.
Yeah, no, that's who I am now.